lot more undergarments here than I have anywhere else. But you know, this culture is lying to you and telling you this is what you have to do in order to get attention. This is what you have to do in order to convince someone that you are beautiful, that you are worth paying attention to. And there are men out there who are pleased that you have bought into this. Because they're not going to look at you with the dignity that you deserve. And there are other men in here and out there who are trying to love you well. And we honor them when we try to dress in a way that matches our dignity. But modesty is not just a woman thing, right? This is not SEC country, so I don't think we have gentlemen wearing shorts to here yet, but I'm sure it's coming. How short are your shorts? What? Why'd you just look at me like that? I have a student who's a teacher now, and she had to talk with her boys about modesty because their shorts were so short, right? Like, I don't know what this world is coming to, but you know what, gentlemen? I'm going to challenge you to pray on something. How come you get to walk around without a shirt on? Why is that okay? I mean, I know men are visually stimulated, women are not. Some women are. And there are men out there who are also going to be struggling because of immodesty. Let's appreciate that for a minute. And maybe just say, if I have to wear extra clothes and be hot, you'll do the same thing as a way of honoring the women in your life. Make a sacrifice. I'm not saying it's a hard and fast rule. None of these modesty rules are hard and fast rules. I'm just saying, if you're going to expect me to dress a certain way to honor you, can you make a sacrifice for me? See, we have all of these opportunities that the Lord has put before us to make sacrifices to love each other. For every one of us, if we want to be a Christian, the way we do that is by loving other people at our own expense. That's what it means to be a Christian, is to be crucified with Christ. And I'm not coming in here saying if you do X, Y, and Z, you're a bad person by any means. But I think a lot of us, we want to strap on the crucifix. We want to show up at daily Mass. We want to pray our rosary, and then we want to be done. There are men in this room who go to Mass and go to confession and pray the rosary and use pornography. There might be women in this room who do the same thing. There are people in this room who want to claim the name of Christian, but don't want it to cover their Saturday nights, just their Sunday mornings. And I think you're better than that. And I think you have the potential for greatness if you choose to believe that you were made in the image and likeness of God, that you were made for glory. Pope Benedict said, "The world offers you comfort, but you were not made for comfort. You were made for greatness." So I'm going to challenge you all to spend some time in prayer over the coming week. 10 minutes a day. And just sit with the Lord and ask Him, Lord, how am I failing to love my brothers and sisters in Christ? Where are the opportunities that I'm given every day to be a hero? See, this is the thing. We have a world that's filled with good guys, right? You know what makes you a good guy? You don't rape anybody and you pay your taxes. These are the basic things that you have to be considered a good guy by our society. And that first one is getting a little bit more blurred, right? I am sick to death of good guys. I'm looking for heroes. Ladies, I'm sick of nice girls. I need saints. I need people who are willing to suffer for the glory of God. People who are willing to take a stand in an office place conversation and say, I don't want to hear you talk about her like that. Or who are willing to stop a friend and say, sweetheart, you are beautiful, but you might want a cardigan. Right? Cardigans are like the universal Catholic gift to modesty. Right? I have more cardigans than any other item of clothing because you can wear whatever you want. You just throw a cardigan on over it, you're good, right? But sometimes that's a terrifying thing to do, is to call someone out. Can I tell you the scariest thing that I do in my life is tell young women about modesty. because it makes people angry. They feel attacked. And ladies, I am sorry if I said anything that made you feel attacked. Gentlemen, if I made you feel attacked, I was talking about pornography, you should have felt attacked. Let's be real. Ladies, if you felt attacked by anything that I say, I'm sorry, because you are beautiful and you are loved and you are worth more than what this world tells you. Gentlemen, you are strong. You are powerful, and you have the ability to change the eternity of the people around you, men and women. But you have to make a choice. You have to decide, do I belong to Christ or do I belong to the world? Because you can't have both. If you didn't make it to confession tonight, every Catholic church in the country has confession sometime between 3 and 5 tomorrow. You're welcome to go there. Get on your knees at the foot of the cross and start fresh. And choose to be more than this world says you are. Because this world says you can't control yourself. This world says you can't love in purity. This world is wrong. You have the potential to be a great saint by choosing to say yes to Christ in every aspect of your life. It's not too late. It's not too late. What questions do y'all have for me? I always end like super intense, and then I'm like, okay, who wants to talk about how I'm all about? Yes, ma'am.
What would you say to, like, your niece, a 3-year-old, who you know in a certain amount of time, she'll start to have those feelings? Like, I have a 3-year-old daughter and I'm a single mom, so what do I say? How can I keep that same thing, the coming out of the room and I'm beautiful? How do I keep that going?
I am very intentional about telling little girls that they're beautiful.
Can you repeat that?
Oh, sorry, yes. She asked what I would do with 3-year-olds, with little girls who still believe they're beautiful, what I would do to affirm that in them and to help them to hold on to that. And I'm under no illusions that what I say is going to help a little girl hold on to that. What a man says could. What a man says could. And it doesn't have to be her father. Her father's not in the picture. But gentlemen, the power that your words have with little girls is almost terrifying, right? But what I say to little girls and what I would encourage other people to say, I tell them they're beautiful, but I'll say to her, Cecilia, you are so beautiful. She'll say, I know. And I'll say, and you are clever, and you are good, and you are kind, and you are a hard worker, and you are funny. I'll tell her lots of things that are good about her. Little girls all women need to be told that they're beautiful, but that can't be it. If we stop at you're beautiful, we are just fueling this Disney princess culture, and ain't nobody got time for that, right? So I tell her all the things that are good about her, and I encourage her and my other nieces, I encourage them to read and to do math, and my little Elizabeth she'll be 2 in November, and I am convinced she's going to be an engineer because she loves Legos like it is her job. Like, a little girl can be in the middle of a huge meltdown, and you say, Elizabeth, do you want to build a tall, tall tower? And she goes, ta-ta tower? And she runs over and starts building a tower. Like, this little girl, she got this little engineer brain. She takes things apart and puts it back together. And I want to affirm that in her and accentuate that. And also tell her not just that she's smart, but also that she's good, and point out when they're kind, because this self-esteem business, you know, and some people say, like, you shouldn't compliment kids too much, and you shouldn't affirm them too much, because then they, like, become all full of themselves, and, you know, we've got these helicopter parents and these terrible adolescents. I was a teacher. I mean, they're wonderful, they're children of God and all that, but, you know, like, they really have a very inflated sense of themselves. But I think if you are disciplining a child and affirming them, I think it comes out in the wash. I think the problem that you run into is people who just tell their kids how awesome they are and then never correct them. And if you have several children, that kind of helps with that. Yes?
After having my last child, what you were saying, I mean, my husband always says that she's beautiful, and my girls too, but when you don't have that other male figure, or when they say, you know, somebody says to them, oh, you're beautiful, I always say, God made me that way, thank you. You know, and to reaffirm by putting God the Father as, instead of it being maybe the female, and saying, you know, God the Father made you so clever. He made you so beautiful. He made you so loving.
Awesome. She's saying that we want to make sure that we emphasize that God is the one who made us that way, and that's always rooted in our identity as children of God. That's beautiful. Thank you.
Okay, I have a question. I wish I have a convert to the church, but my question was, today, it seemed like I'm in my late 30s, but we have a real crisis of manhood, masculinity today. But I'm thinking, maybe it wasn't bad in the 80s and the 70s, I don't know, when I was little, but why do you think there's such a crisis now? Or what caused it? Obviously the devil, but other than that, how was this crisis, how did it happen, crisis of manhood, masculinity?
He's asking the cause of the crisis of manhood and masculinity. And I'm not an anthropologist, but I would pin a lot on radical feminism. Now let me put this out here, I am a feminist. I am absolutely a feminist. I believe that women are equal to men. I'm a feminist the way that John Paul II was a feminist. I'm a feminist the way that Susan B. Anthony was a feminist. Right? That first wave feminism in the 19th century, I am all about that stuff. Second wave feminism wanted to say that men and women are interchangeable, that they are exactly the same, that there is no difference between men and women. What that results in, when you combine it with the sexual revolution, is telling women that they have to want sex just as much as men do, and hey, we're going to give you medication so you have absolutely no excuse not to. And then we start eroding consent, because we're telling women that really they have no reason ever to say no, and suddenly we're shocked. We're shocked at the incidence of sexual assault in a culture that has told women that they have no reason to say no. I think that what radical feminism did is it told women, you are just exactly the same as men, and you need to do all of the things that a man does and look hot, right, ladies? Because you do have to be super powerful and super intelligent, but you also have to be hot, otherwise you're a bitch, let's be honest. That's how that works, right? If you look good, then you're powerful, right? Then you're a strong woman. And what we told men was anytime you're strong, then you're being a chauvinist. And so we established this standard of masculinity that I think is epitomized by pretty much every man in any sitcom for the past 20 years, where the wife is strong and intelligent and beautiful and successful, and the man is fat and sits on the couch and screws things up. That's what it means to be a man. And so we have this dichotomy that there are two options as a man. You're either violent or you're effeminate, because we've taken out that middle ground of just being strong. And gentlemen, I think that's an incredible challenge to you of figuring out how to balance being strong and being sensitive, and how to be gentle without being weak. I heard a story of a little boy who hit his sister, and his father calls him over, and he said, "What is the most important thing about being a man?" And this 4-year-old boy said, "Always being gentle." And I thought that was a very powerful statement, that he's identifying masculinity with gentleness, and gentleness is not weakness. Gentleness recognizes your strength, and it chooses to use it in the service of those who are weaker. Yeah, so I would blame the 60s, which I think is generally a safe bet in most issues. If you were around in the 60s, I blame you. Other questions? You can ask about the hobo thing, anything the church teaches. I like to talk. Yes, ma'am.
How did we find you to come here today? I mean, how did you show up here today?
How did I show up here today? I think David. Yeah? I think you can blame him. So if you were really angry about the things that I said, you can yell at him. I have a blog, piercedhands.com, pierced hands, or if you won't remember that, you can Google Hobo for Christ, and I'm your first hit, which is my claim to fame, #1 on Google. Thank you very much. And I blog, and you can stalk me all over the internet. You can follow me on like Twitter, Facebook, and now I'm on Instagram, right? So I like Instud. Is that a thing? Can you use that as a verb? You're young. Do you know that? Instud? I don't know. I Instagrammed a picture of the church and was like, you guys should come out tonight. So people usually will contact me through my blog and then will invite me to come. And if you're in California, I usually need a ton of lead time. And I only, it seems, come to California when it is very hot because Jesus is no respecter of seasons. And so I spent February and March of this year in Michigan and Wisconsin. And then by May, I was in Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. So, you know, that's great. Martyrdom, right? Any other questions? Hang out afterwards if people just want to chat. Yeah. Yes, last one.
I just want to know what part of Michigan were you from?
What part of Michigan? I'm not from Michigan, I'm from Virginia. I grew up outside DC. I lived in Ann Arbor for 3 months. So, I don't know, I hope not. Michigan is wonderful, I'm sure. It's just the football team that is an irrigation of sin for me. Okay, thank you guys so much. God bless you.
Just amazing. Oh my gosh. And you know, as you can tell, she's been traveling all over, and I would just really ask right now to reach to the bottom of your heart and look at the amount of wisdom that she was able to share with us tonight. I know that I was profoundly moved with what she spoke with. And we just ask for a goodwill offering for her. She travels everywhere, just pouring herself out the way she just did tonight. And I just love everything that she had to say. And I know that it's affected, I'm sure, a lot of people. If you're reaching in your wallet right now and you see a $1 bill, a $5 bill, or a $20 bill, pick the $20 bill. Okay? Just saying, I'm just saying. She's got more work to do, and she's definitely somebody that we are going to call back. So maybe in a better season, yeah. So, and a shout out to David for he's like our little good luck charm, I tell him. So, yeah, so we reached out to Meg about a year ago, and she put us on her books, never forgot about us, and we're so happy that you came. Thank you so much. So again, if you guys are reaching into your wallets, into your pockets, I really, really ask that you bless her tonight for having blessed us with her amazing talk tonight. Okay, thank you.
So I just have a few quick announcements. If any of you guys are looking for volunteer opportunities, we're looking for volunteers. So we have an event coming up on October 11th. There's the Daughters of the King Mother-Daughter Retreat and the Warriors of the King Father-Son Retreat. And this is for fathers and mothers and their middle school-aged children, daughters or sons. So we need guys for the boys retreat and girls for the women's retreat. And we're looking for people to help with setup, help with registration, manning the tables, kind of just general logistics stuff. So if you guys are looking for a way to give back, this is a perfect opportunity for that. Another thing we're looking for is we're doing a parish appeal at Our Lady of Perpetual Help in 3 weeks, 3 weekends. And we need people to help us man the tables. So this is a great opportunity to talk to people about what the Goretti group does, about their dignity, about chastity. So if you guys are looking for an opportunity like that, we have signups in the back. We also have signups if you want to become part of the mass team. Catalina is our coordinator, and we are looking for more people to help out. We need help in the music, we need help with the liturgy, with hospitality. So we would love for you guys to start taking part if you're interested. Another thing is there's a couple upcoming diocesan events. The Young Adult Diocesan Retreat is in a few weekends, and it's a really, really great retreat. If you guys haven't been, or if you have been, I would definitely recommend going. There's flyers in the back for that. Also, Theology on Tap is going to be coming back in October on Tuesdays in Chula Vista. And also, Tatiana is going to be running a Theology of the Body class starting this Wednesday, I believe, at St. Bridget's. So for any of you guys who've been hearing a lot about theology of the body and want to learn more about it, this is a great opportunity to do that. And that's all. So thank you all so much for coming, and God bless you. reminded me, for any of you guys who haven't heard, Bishop Cirillo Flores is very sick. He has cancer, and he's just been removed from the hospital to palliative care. So if you guys could keep him in your prayers. Thank you.